Howwya. Um, the reason it's titled Howwya is a little play on words, and if you know, you know. Um, we've got a field correspondent out there in Hawaii. Uh, Mr. Empire 54 millimeter Reese is hanging out there. He may be joining us here in a little while. We might have a McMurray sighting. I'm not sure. Um, I can tell you that he is safe and sound, and his house is, from my understanding, in good repair after the tornadoes in St. Louis last weekend. Uh, so uh, Good to hear that. Glad you're doing okay there, McMurray. um, and I've been keeping in touch with Reese, and he is having a grand time out in Hawaii. He visited the battleship Missouri and took some photos and forwarded them to me. Very, very impressed, and also very jealous because that is something that I would like to see someday. Um, so, just real quickly, before anybody else shows up, we'll just talk about um, if you are in need of any of the new Fistful of Lead products or any of the old Fistful of Lead products or anything at all from Wiley Games, now is the time to do it. Wiley Games is having a 25% discount off of everything. You do not need a code to get this discount. It's everything 25% off of everything in the Wiley Games store. Just fill up the fill up your basket, and when you go to checkout, 25% will be taken off the total purchase. So now's the time to go do it. And if you're online buying stuff, go ahead and head on over to geekgamingusa.com. Pick up your bottle of fast drying basing glue to go along with your base ready material. Like I said, I've been using patchy planes a lot for my Star Wars miniatures. I use the forest floor cover for my Cold War armor. And the Mediterranean stuff, I actually, somewhere around here, I've got some Greeks that I painted up, Victrix Greeks that I painted up that's got the Mediterranean base on there. So, as I've always said, make sure uh, poor miniatures look good, your good miniatures look great, and your great miniatures look amazing. So, head on over to geekgamingusa.com. I'll put it in a little note that you saw it here, and if McMurray is helping unpack, he might send you a nifty little note of some sort. So that is that. While we are waiting for the others to show up, there is some news that we have to talk about. Um, might not have a show next week. The reason is, if you've noticed, I don't, I'm missing some games here. Those games are currently in a box because that box and everything else in this house is going west to Kansas City as of June 2nd. I will be once again a resident of the Kansas City metropolitan area. Now, all my stuff won't be over there yet. I'm going to be coming back on the weekends to pack up and get ready for the moving truck. But Donna decided that she was ready to be back home, close to the kids and the grandkids. So she has a job over there now. I have got a job. I got a job starting June 2nd. So not might not have a show next week because I'm going to be doing as much packing as I can in the next several days. And unfortunately, I don't have this weekend to pack because I have to be in Kansas City to take care of some stuff for the getting together for the job. And then, of course, the following weekend, I'm going to be, well, back in Kansas City getting ready to start the new job. So I've got tomorrow night and then the rest of the other evenings before next Friday. So yeah, that's that. Um, what that does do for me is gets me back into Kansas City and able to game more frequently with my buddies uh, Copeland and Joel, and of course, getting gaming in at the Wiley headquarters on a more regular basis. So, Walkabout Games came in real early today at 5:46. He says, "I shall return," doing his best impression of MacArthur, and then Reese hopped in here around 7:40, saying, "Hey y'all, Charles is uh, Charles is painting some 15 millimeter giants. That's cool." Telemachus says you might be a gamer if your financial planning is focused on game releases. Very true. Doug's with us, bunkhouse. Evening, everyone. And then Walkabout Chris Long is back. He has returned just before the show started and gave a hello all. Reese is stuck in Oahu traffic. He says no one drives over 35. So there you go. Well, I mean, it's a more laid back life, I guess. Uh, Doug gives me good luck with the move and the new job. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And then Scala's in the house saying, "Hey, all, how you doing, Scala Gremlin? Glad you could make it." So, um, yeah. What have I been doing gaming wise in the last week? Absolutely nothing because I have been dealing with um, realizing that, oh, hey, I've got a job now. I applied. Um, I applied for the job, um, and then interviewed and was notified on Monday that, hey, we want you to take the job. So boom, 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 very quick happening. Wasn't exactly expecting it to come about so quickly, but here we are. Um, also, you really can't tell, but both of my Mars printers are already packed away. So yeah, we're we're we got we got things to do. Uh, Chris Long says sounds like a good move for you both. I I'm sure it will be. We're going to be staying with my daughter at first until we can for sure find a place that suits our needs and our budget because housing has gotten expensive, y'all. Even in Kansas City, it is crazy. And I know Up in Washington, it's nuts. Exactly. Um, yes, you did, Scala. I got a new job. Donna has decided that she is ready to move back to the Kansas City area where she's originally from, to be closer to the kids and the grandkids. So, with that decision made, she found herself a job, and I went looking for a job and got one a lot quicker than I was expecting. So I start my new job over in the Kansas City area, Lee Summit to be specific. If y'all know the Kansas City area, Lee Summit is in the southeast corner of the metropolitan area, and that's where I'm going to be working. Donna's job is in Lee Summit also. Uh, so yeah, I've I'm given my 2 week notice earlier this week to my current job, and in 2 weeks I will be employed in Kansas City. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate it. He gives me a thumbs up and best wishes. And Scala says, "Well, congrats on the new job." Thank you, sir. Um, so it does, like I said, it does a couple things. It gets us back to being around, closer to the kids. She realized that uh, we haven't been in the Kansas City area for about 22 years or so, and so we've missed a lot. So um, let's see, McMurray, how you doing, sir? Bless you.
Other than that, not too bad. Yourself?
Not doing too horribly. Um, Reese, we do have questions left over from Telemachus. We've got five more to go. I was going to wait until you were able to hop on to go through those. Um,
Yeah, so hurry the fuck up, Reese.
yeah, well, he's stuck in Oahu traffic.
In what?
Oahu traffic.
Where's what?
Oahu.
Oahu in
Yes.
Hawaii. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, no, that's fine. We understand that you're in traffic, and it's apparently Hawaiians move at a much slower speed. Not saying anything disparaging to our lovely 50th state, but things do move at a slower pace when you live in paradise. So just
I
saying.
hope Reese got to meet Mr. Wargame while he was out there.
Well, today he went out and went to a cattle ranch.
And looked at what?
Went to a cattle ranch.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
When I go on vacation, I like to go look at shithole Section 8 apartments too. Perfect.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from, Reese. And by
Uh,
that I mean, you lost your mind?
you can
Good
take
Lord,
the cows
Reese.
away from the boy, but you can't take the boy away from the cows, I guess.
You are physically in a different fucking hemisphere, buddy. You got the boy got taken away from the cows.
Yeah. He says he's up on the interstate now doing 45 miles per hour.
How the hell do you have an interstate on a fucking island that is one state?
Same way you have an interstate in Texas that only is in Texas.
Huh.
There's three of them in Texas.
That seems like
I've-
a complicated way to say we want the feds to fund our state highway.
Exactly. I-45 goes from Galveston to Dallas. I-37 goes from San Antonio to Corpus, and I-27 goes from Amarillo to Lubbock.
Yeah, but I go to the bathroom several times a day.
Yes, you do.
I don't know. I tossed that one in there. I'm so fucking tired. Holy smoly.
So, well, I told everybody that you were safe and sound after the tornadoes this past weekend.
Oh,
St.
yeah,
Louis.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely. We're golden
good.
after that. Still just, I was at work at 7 a.m. and then I got home and filled a dumpster. And now I'm just now washing my hands. But that's okay. It
Why
was
did
a
you,
good,
what did
what,
why
on,
what did you fill a dumpster with?
oh, man. Yeah, pretty much everything you can think of. Random crap, concrete, both old concrete that was left in the bags and then got wet, which is just somehow worse than dry concrete to move.
Yes.
Like moving dry mixed concrete blows.
Yeah, because it's so
Moving dry
heavy.
mixed concrete that got wet and then dried in the bags, that's like a whole new level of this. This is not fun.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that was cool. Got to do that.
It's a whole different kind of suck.
One of which I didn't know they made these was a 120-pound bag of concrete.
Oh, good Lord.
Fuck it, let's just double it, I guess. So that was cool. Yeah, didn't know that was a thing. So I had a few 60-pounders of masonry mix, a few 80-pound concrete bags, and then, yeah, the 120-pound. Yeah, it was one. Like, I was looking at it, I was like, that's big. Like, Mama McMurray didn't raise a bitch, but that's a lot of concrete, man.
Yeah.
And then I got it into the dumpster and it rolled over and it said 120. I was like, oh, yeah, no wonder that sucked. Okay. All right. That makes me feel a little bit better about myself. But then honestly, like everything, like chest of drawers, everything. So on the bright
Charles,
side, next time you
Char-
guys watch Toddy and I play in the Shop Mahal or the Taj Garage, however we're feeling that day,
yeah.
you'll notice it is substantially less cluttered.
There you go. Charles is concerned that you're throwing away miniatures.
That what?
That you were throwing away miniatures.
Under no condition, Charles.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
That is not a thing.
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
That's why nobody sees the inside of my house, because that will be forever miniature cluttered.
Yeah, exactly. So I was explaining to everybody that I am in the process of getting things packed up here at Chez Arnaldo, and we'll be moving west in the next few weeks.
Yeah, when do you start?
My new job starts June 2nd.
Hell yeah.
So I've already been asked by Mr. Wiley if I'm ready to game my ass off.
I saw that. Opening up a second day gaming.
Yes, he is. He's pretty much locked into Thursday nights being RPG nights now.
Which is garbage, but whatever.
Hey, I mean, he does what he does, right? So he's gotten the go ahead to make Tuesday nights miniature gaming, wargaming nights. So
Nice.
Which works out for me because my job is Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4:30, so I can get done at work, grab a little something to eat, and stop over at Wiley HQ on the way home.
Hell yeah. That is also my miniature gaming night. That's a good pick.
Yeah. So, and then we've got Copeland and Joel as well to be able to get to do some gaming with. So, Charles, let's see. Charles was asking about miniatures. No. Walkabout Game says, I can't see him throwing minis away. No, never. Doug, Bunkhouse Doug says, I've never thrown away minis, never will, and I regret selling the few minis that I have. I personally have never sold any miniatures. Now, Donna has sold miniatures. Did she sell? Yeah, she sold. She got a hold of a crap ton of Sisters of Battle, and she sold them off to a friend of ours in Austin. But that as far as miniatures go, that's the only ones that we have ever sold. Charles says, true that you wouldn't sell miniatures, but he has seen you throw a board game towards a barbecue. Well, and rightfully so, because if I remember correctly, that board game was hot garbage.
It tried to kill Brian.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's gonna attempt to kill the mutt, then it must be destroyed. And then Chris Long says, gaming with the Baron, that's class. Yeah, I would say so.
It is. When they were still gaming on Thursday nights, there were a number of Thursday nights when I drove out there, played a game, and then drove home.
Yep. Jeffy's in the house. How you doing, Jeffy? He says, nice on the GBACW to Charles. Chris Long says hello, and Hexy responds to Chris Long. Who knows how many artillery guns Buford had on day one, and Jeff says 6. So there you go.
You only had one battery, Jeffy?
At the opening, he says. Charles says, thanks, Hex. Plan is to read the examples of a playbook tomorrow out in the backyard in the beautiful weather that we're having, like about 85 degrees.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Staying on, but I'll be right back. Real fast.
Yeah, 2 on McPherson's and 4 to the left. There you go. Our weather is really weird. We had thunderstorms Monday night, and then had a little bit of rain yesterday. Today was mostly, partly cloudy, cool. It only got to be about 65 or 66, and windy as all get out. So, yeah, not too bad. You doing okay down there, buddy? So, so did you, are you back there? Are you back, Mr. McMurray? No.
I am. What's up, buddy?
Oh, I was just wondering, you said Tuesday nights are your miniature gaming nights. What did you play last night?
Last night we played 1 hour skirmish, AWI.
Okay.
Quite fun. Closer to like 40-minute skirmish, 30-minute skirmish once we got into it.
Yeah.
Depending on how it went. Still very fun. That game would be like the ultimate for virtual gaming.
Cool.
Because it's entirely done by just, okay, flip over the next card that you have. Like, you obviously decide what you're going to do, but then instead of rolling dice or anything, it's all just the next card on top of your deck.
Right.
So it would be super duper easy to run in a virtual format, not to mention the fact that we ran 2 sides with 10 figures each yesterday on like a 4x4 that was entirely too big and devoid of terrain. So it will be a great virtual game.
Cool. Chris Long agrees there. He says 1 hour is fun for online games. So
I'm trying to think. And then last week we played 2mm ACW with Live for Your Die, which you guys have seen over on Hex to Hex's channel.
Yeah.
When I was wargaming out some of the scenarios to help Joy of Wargaming when he was running his Kingsport campaign.
Right.
Let's see. The week before, we played ACW Rebels and Patriots in 15mm, maybe. Or no, we played What a Cowboy. The week before that, we played.
How is that?
It's fun. I'm pretty sure we goofed up a lot of stuff, but it was the second time playing, and we fixed a bunch of stuff that we goofed up the first time. So, yeah.
How much like What a Tanker is it?
Very similar.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been playing all kinds of stuff. It's kind of nice. It's the Big Muddy guys, or it's a Big Muddy event, but the guy that they had running the Tuesday night gaming was not, like, he just stopped showing up, but he was still on the calendar, so people weren't like bringing games.
Yeah.
So the other couple guys that are usually up there, and I said, you know what, screw it, we're just going to bring a game every week. And if he shows up and has a game, awesome. If he doesn't, we have a game.
There you go.
And it has worked remarkably well. Every week we play a game and we say, okay, who wants to bring something next week? And then we play that game and rinse and repeat.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
It's working great.
So now, one thing about this move is, since we're staying with my daughter in her basement, not going to have a whole lot of room. So I've got to be very judicious with what I make available to myself, because most of this stuff is going to be going into storage somewhere at a U packet type place. But all of my gaming stuff and all of Donna's crafting stuff is going to be going into actual totes, plastic totes with lids. And those will be to the front of the storage locker. And then the stuff that we really don't need access to on a regular basis is going to be going into paper boxes or cardboard boxes, and those will be towards the back. But yeah, that's what we're working on right now. As I gotta pack up this house, and we've got 25 years of together and 6 years of being spread out in this house. So there's a lot to it. But
sounds like you could fill a dumpster too.
Yeah. The problem is there's not a lot of stuff that would end up. We could fill a dumpster as long as that dumpster was actually being moved over to Kansas City and put into a storage facility.
Fair, but at the same time, if it's stuff that you're going to put in the back and very reasonably not fuck with, like, we all have stuff that has survived multiple moves in the moving boxes. Yeah. Like, oh no.
Yeah, the biggest issue that I'm going to have is dealing with the garage and the basement.
What is that?
It's just packed with stuff. The garage is just one large storage facility at this point.
I gotcha.
So, a lot of it is where Donna's mother's fabric is stored. After she passed away, Donna was given all of her fabric for quilting that she had accumulated over dozens of years, decades of years. Um, so we packed it all up and moved it over here, and now I got to pack it all up and move it back over there. So, but hey, it's once it's done, it's done. It's going to be good. It's
Fair.
going to be outstanding. So, but, I'm hoping once I get over there, I'm hoping to be able to at least have a little bit of space, and I can set out some of the smaller, like one or two map jobs uh, of the World War 85 and get some
Ah,
of that. Be able to do some of my own gaming with that. Like I said, gonna be able to game with Jay Wiley on a regular basis. Going to be able to uh, go over to tabletop uh, frequently to see what's going on over there. So yeah, it's going to be good. Plus, um, I'm not going to be 2 hours away from actually doing things. So okay, he says traffic is still going on forever. If y'all need to go on without me, go on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the notes that has the questions, and we'll just go ahead and dive into questions.
outstanding.
All right, so the last 5 questions that Telemachus brought up is regarding logistics and hosting. So, question number 1: what are the essential materials a host should always have on hand for a game night? Um, so it's really dependent on if you're just providing the the place for people to come and game, and everybody brings their own miniatures and their own dice and whatnot, or if you are supplying everything for the game. Obviously, if you're supplying everything for the game, then you literally have to have everything. Um, and Reese here says dice. Got to have dice on hand, and that's always whether you're the just the place where everybody shows up and brings their own stuff.
Not if you're playing 1 hour war game or 1 hour skirmish. You don't.
Well, no. Um, but
Suck it, Reese.
9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, you're gonna need dice. Um, and Reese is very much like me. He says I'm used to hosting and supplying both sides and terrain, and I am too. There's actually only 2 armies that I have that are one-sided. That's my War Master. It's my War Master army. I only have the Dogs of War, and my World War II 15 millimeter infantry. I only have American infantry. Everything else, I've got both sides. My Cold War armor 6 millimeter, got both sides. My 12400th naval, I've got both sides. All my different aircraft games, I've got both sides. Star Trek, I've got both sides. Star Wars, I've got both sides. So it's I've got multiple sides for in Warhammer 40k. I've got orcs, I've got Space Marines, I've got Tau. Um, so multiple options there. Um, so, and of course, you have to have the scenery. If you were the host and you're putting on the game, you got to have your scenery. Um, Outside of the gaming stuff, personally, you know, I say you can't do gaming without snacks. And
Pretzels.
yeah, there you go, pretzels.
They're the
Find out
ultimate
what
gamer snack.
people like, and you don't have to have everything that they like, but have it, I know McMurray likes pretzels. I will make sure there are some pretzels there. Um, I like I like snacking on goldfish, the little cheese crackers. So I'm going to make sure I've got those there. If it's going to be an all day thing, uh, I'll have something a little more, you know maybe have chips and dip, or maybe even a lunch meat platter type of thing. If I'm
See,
going all out.
the problem I run into with that stuff is like any sort of chips you have are going to have grease on them, and it's going to get on your minis. Goldfish are like right on the cusp,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that's why pretzels are always my go-to, right? Is because there is nothing on your hands.
Right.
They are not overly messy in terms of most people eat pretzels in one bite. So you're not leaving crumbs and shit. You're not flinging crumbs and stuff. And honestly, I've never met somebody who was like, "Oh man, I don't like pretzels." Like are not anybody's favorite snack,
Right. But you're not
right?
going to not eat a pretzel.
Yeah, but everybody knows that okay, it's quite literally just a little bit of salt and fucking flour. Like it's
Right.
good. I can eat it. Um, yeah, man. Like that. I know it drives Steve up the wall when people are eating pizza at his games and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But man, fucking chips are every bit as bad. There
Yeah.
was a dude who tried playing with a bunch of the Big Muddies guys stuff at Miniature Market, right? And at Miniature Market, they sell fucking Cheetos. And I had to like stop the guy and be like, "Hey, buddy, don't fucking eat Cheetos and play this game."
Yeah.
Why not?
Well,
You
well,
get
well
Cheeto dust all
Telemachus,
over the fucking miniatures that these guys
Telemachus
even
says it
paint.
right here. Cheetos, smear the minis.
Yeah, are you fucking insane?
Yeah.
And he got like
Yep.
kind of offended and then was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I see what you mean." It seemed pretty
Yeah.
fucking obvious, buddy, but okay.
Um, Scalagremlin adds extra dice, beer, and suture kit. Not quite sure why you're bringing in a suture kit, but hey, if you want to be prepared, be prepared.
Sometimes
Uh,
Reese talks too much. You gotta just sew up
um,
that mouse hole.
uh, Nord's in the house. How you doing, Nord? Hadn't seen you for a while. Glad you could make it.
Hey, Nord, what's
He's,
up, buddy?
he says,
Good to
I
see
got a
ya.
giant pretzel from Wawa earlier. No plans to share. Hello, by
That's
the
fair.
way.
You don't have to share. I have also 100% done that, where I get a good bag of pretzels and then I get a share big ass bag of pretzels.
Yep.
No shade, man. Especially if you're going to like a game store or something.
Yep.
Get after it. That being said, if I'm going to somebody's house and they're nice enough to host, it's usually a big bag of the Utz sourdoughs.
There you go.
Those are pretty good. That are the Snyders of Hanover little sourdough nibblers.
Yep.
Also very, 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 very good. God, those are fucking delicious. Now I've been talking about this too much. I'm gonna have to go to Schnucks while we're live again.
um, we're doing pretty good overall, Nord. You missed the news at the beginning of the show. Um, I'm in the process of moving to Kansas City, or at least the Kansas City metro area. So probably no show next week. So, just as a heads up.
Oh man.
Also, also to reiterate to all those that weren't here at the beginning of the show, if you need something from Wiley Games, this is the time to do it. Between now and Memorial Day, through the end of Memorial Day, 25% off everything in the store.
Does that include packages?
It says everything.
God damn.
You
God.
don't need a code. You just need to
Oh yeah.
order it. You just got to buy it. Let me take a look here just to double check. Yeah, for the next 5 days, 2 hours, 50 minutes, and 30 seconds. Wiley Games 25% off everything through Memorial Day. No need for discount code. Discount taken at checkout. Um, Why Fistful of Lead rules? Miniature agnostic, build the world you want, endlessly customizable, tried and true mechanics, easy to learn, and 1 to 3 turns, low entry cost. And even lower with 25% off. So there
Accurate.
you go. There you go. Okay. Question number 2. Actually, question 17 in the 20 that he sent me. How do you set up a gaming space to enhance immersion and accessibility?
Immersion accessibility.
Immersion and accessibility.
I take the cover off the pool.
There you go.
And then we start pushing Reese in there.
Yep. For me, I mean, if I'm at home doing it, of course I'm going to have my gaming table, and as people are showing up, I always like to have music around me. At work, I've always got music playing. I always have to have something going on in the background, sound wise. When I'm cooking, I'll have music going, etc. So if I'm going to have a Star Wars game playing, I will get the Star Wars soundtrack going while people are coming in. If I'm going to be doing a World War II game, I'll get some big band music going. Just kind of give some atmosphere. Um, Empire Reese says gaming table you can walk around 3 sides of. Moldy basement smell close enough to jungle rot. There you go. Yeah, if I'm going to be doing a Vietnam game, play lots of Creedence Clearwater Revival. um, but as for the other thing is just make sure that you put the best you can the best you can uh, terrain wise, scenery wise on your table. Every time I go play Fistful of Blood Galactic Heroes with Star Wars over at Wiley HQ, as soon as I get down there, I am all in on the idea of Star Wars because his table is just great. The his COVID Prime setup always looks amazing. Always looks great. The miniatures are outstanding. The scenery is great. Um, yeah, it just that that more than anything, I think, sets the tone for the gaming. Is making the table look good. What about you, McMurray? What anything to add on that?
Um. So Todd and I have done dumb shit for immersion. like playing in the garage in July.
Yeah.
And then also
In December.
in September, and also then yes, we did try and play Battle of the Bulge in my garage on December 16th. That was a terrible fucking idea. I don't know if you guys remember that. We then wound up playing it in Todd's house. I'm trying to think. The only other time I've done an immersion thing was to fuck with a buddy of mine, and we were playing something or other, and a dinosaur jumped out, and I threw water on his crotch because if a dinosaur jumps out at you, you're pissing your pants. Sorry, it's just a fact of life. Like that's. Tell me you're not pissing your pants.
Oh yeah.
Tell me you're not pissing your pants.
Oh yeah. I mean.
Oh, here we are walking through the woods. T-Rex. Well,
Rawr.
all right.
Yep.
I need new shorts. Cool.
Hey, first you say it, then you do it.
So,
just saying.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Big shits. But no, I mean that really is it. Sometimes, when I really need people to get into the spirit of a game, we'll do cool shit like wear hats.
Oh yeah.
Or yell. It really just depends. Wave swords around and stuff. It's entertaining. It really depends on what you're doing. Not every game requires too much immersion, to be honest with you. If we needed that much immersion, we'd be LARPing or reenacting. And well, reenacting is LARPing, but that's not the point. But yeah, so.
Yar.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Oh, do you have your stuff from Battles and Brews a couple years ago? There you go. Yeah, so Chris got that because the first time you killed an enemy in that game, you got your hat. Yeah. And then I think after 5, you got a sword. And then after 10, you got an eye patch. Yeah. It was quite fun.
Oh, yeah.
And then everybody knows about the dinosaur hats because that shit's just incredible.
Oh, yeah. I've still got mine. I've got 3 up there. I've got a green dinosaur, a teal dinosaur, and a purple dinosaur.
Hell yeah, those are the 3. Hell yeah.
So I'll be ready next time we play
Eat Hitler?
Let's Eat Hitler.
Absolutely, dude. That's how we do it around here.
Exactly. So I mean, just fun stuff like that. And I think a big reason why I go all in with it. When you do that, I go all in, and I'm not afraid to do it. Is it really helps take the edge off of those people that take their gaming far too seriously?
Absolutely.
Because how serious can you be when you're playing with pirates and mermaids and other shit like that, and giant monkeys, when you're wearing a felt pirate hat and swinging around a blow-up cutlass?
Correct.
Let's be honest.
Well, then that's the issue, right? Because I played one test game of Eat Hitler, and people were taking it way too seriously. It's like, brother, you are a fucking dinosaur eating time-traveling Nazis.
Yeah.
Put on your dinosaur hat and shut up. So then that's where it first happened. Is the requirement was nope, everybody wears a dinosaur hat. You're playing as a dinosaur. You have to think like a dinosaur. You have to be the dinosaur. Yep. And that got some people to be like, well, I'm not going to play that game. Okay, cool.
You aren't the people I want to be playing my game anyway. So.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, bye. At one point in time, I might have given a fuck about that, but oof, it is not today.
Yeah. Because, for me in the long run, what I'm all about with my gaming is I'm not so much there for the game itself. I'm there for the social interaction with people.
Fair.
Now, if a game happens to be played and we roll some dice and we move some characters around, great. If all of my characters get dead, that's okay. Did I have fun playing? Did I have a fun time talking with friends and getting to know new people? Then let all my guys die. It's no big deal. Um, Nord wants to know if the dinosaur he picked as an aquatic one, does he get to play in a swimming pool? I think Mr. McMurray walked away, so we'll ask him when he comes back. Walcott says, good idea. If they might have 2 years worth of done except rescaling. Oh, for the Hexy wanting to have some World War II mini sculpted up. There you go. Charles has got Hood Strikes North and Thunder on the Mississippi ordered. Hey, Nord, I think you might be right. Nord just wants to wear arm floaties in public and needs permission. Hey, if that's what it takes, wearing arm floaties and the dinosaur hat, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. So
I'm sorry, what was that, Chris?
Nord wanted to know if the dinosaur he has picked to play is aquatic, does he get to play in the swimming pool?
Well, I would certainly let you. That sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, Nord.
Yeah.
You should be the Neopterodon.
Scout Gremlin says he just wants that Nord just wants to wear floaties in public and needs permission.
Fuck yeah, dude. You don't need my permission, man. But you do definitely have it. Yeah.
Hey, he's Reese is pulling up to the valet and he'll be on in just a minute.
To the what?
To the valet. Apparently where they're staying at in Hawaii, they don't park their own car.
Oh.
Dad went all out. So
good
apparently.
Lord.
So we will wait for question 18 or the third question of the night for when Mr. Reese pops
when
up.
Reese Poo Poo can attend once he's done with the valet and they've properly like powdered his nose and clothed his ball sack.
Exactly.
Dang, man, he's fancy.
So, like, if you've ever watched Ted Lasso, in I believe it's second season, when Roy Kent is going to be a commentator, a prognosticator on the soccer today or Saturday soccer or whatever it's called. And the person getting him ready to go on the show says, "What do you normally do with your eyelashes?" He says, "Leave them the fuck alone."
Yeah, correct.
All right. Chris Long says, when the guy opens the store, I'll post the web address. All right. My brother's in the house. He says, it's high time for Mordheim. Yes. So Jay and Joey and our buddy Eric are going to start up a Mordheim campaign.
Oh, boy.
Joey's going to be running orcs. I'm not sure what Eric or Jay are going to run. So we'll have to see. We'll have to find out about that. And Chris Long says, hi, Jay. Nort wants to know if Hexy played through all 4 battles from By Swords and Bayonets yet. He has not.
I think he's hammering out or did hammer out Big Bethel, though.
Okay. Nor says I was going to buy a copy, but the only one on eBay sold out on account of villainy. There you go.
Yeah.
Damn
I'm
eBay
sure it'll get better, to be
snatchers.
honest with you, once it's been around for a second here. It's
Yeah.
just now getting to people.
Yeah, Jay, I forgot to mention this. My brother Jay was recently on the Canadian Wargamer podcast.
The Canadian Wargamer podcast?
Yeah.
Oh. What'd you talk
Yeah,
about?
so wargaming in Canada, apparently. I will. He's got okay. I think my brother did have the link in the J3 group. Let me see if I can find that real quick, and I'll link it in here. Here we go. Which we talked about the best candy bar, the Coffee Crisp. Can confirm. The best band Rush, double confirm. And whether Moose automatically get initiative, they do, as they should. Scala says they talked about how Moose always cheat their dice rolls, but the Beavers are always fun to play with.
I enjoy playing with beavers.
Again, can confirm. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to link the. Here we go. That link should take you to the to where you can find the podcast. Apparently, you can also find it in the App Store or Google Play, depending on your preference of um, device there. So. Nord says, I think the only things I intend to buy directly from GMT on P500 this year are Barbarossa Army Group North 41 and Thunderbolt Deluxe Edition. I've got a P500 that I grabbed. What was it that I grabbed? Here we go. Oh, third printing of Silent Victory. So there you have it. I'm just waiting for that to happen at this point. Chris Long says, when our bears fear our moose, you know to get out of there. Oh, get out of their way. Absolutely. Yeah, moose aren't anything to screw around with, man. Those are just very large deer with very bad attitudes. That's the way I'm looking at those guys. So, and if you're wondering how long the episode that my brother Jay is on with the Canadian Wargamer podcast, it is an hour, 21 minutes, and 36 seconds. So if you've got an hour and 21 to kill, go listen to Jay talk about moose dice and beaver scamming. So well, Reese, you're taking far too long. Far too long. Now, we still have J3 coming up in July, the 4th of July weekend. And one of our friends, James Earls, is bringing his Hadley's Hope game again. Oh, there he is. How you doing, Reese?
Not too bad. I don't know if you can hear me or not. But,
Yeah, we can hear you.
let me
It's
see
all
if I can
good.
get my mic and headphones set up because it doesn't seem to be.
And we lost him.
Doesn't seem to be working.
Damn, it's dark in Hawaii, dog.
Right?
Oh, God. There he is. Never mind. He's still ugly. It's bright outside. I'm just kidding.
It's beautiful here. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Where in Hawaii are you?
I'm on Waikiki right now.
Okay.
So that's on Oahu. It's between Pearl and Diamond Head.
Oh, very cool.
So
Oh. Have you had pineapple yet?
no, not yet.
What the hell?
Focused on some other things right now, but it's
Yeah,
been.
well, I mean, you focused on going to
What do you
see
mean, spam?
this bad boy.
Yeah.
Because you only took like 2 pictures there, which made me really, really sad.
I took a lot more than that. I just haven't sent them to you.
Oh, I see how it is. Okay.
I'll send them to you. So.
Chris Long says he saw a moose stop a RCMP patrol where the hooves made holes in the hood. Good Jesus. And then he says, "Look at this guy reclining." Yeah, you're definitely in chillax mode.
Oh, I am. I very much am. And it's only 4 o'clock here, so we've got plenty of daylight left. The sun doesn't go down to about 8.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. So, all right, we waited until you got back for question number 18, third for the night. And that is, what's the best way to introduce new players to a system without overwhelming them? Well, for one thing, apparently you can't have Navy B-25s with 14 50 caliber machine guns in the nose.
Absolutely not. You can. Just don't let the morons fly straight the fucking front of them. Well, and the problem was, it wasn't even the gentleman that flew straight into it that had a problem with it. It was somebody on the other team.
Yeah, it was the guy on the Americans team.
And it wasn't even the B-25 pilot. The B-25 pilot's like, bring it on. And Chad said, well, I made my decision. We'll rock and roll with it. And
Yep.
I don't know. People are weird. And what, somebody else was butthurt because of that?
Yeah,
the guy flying the P-39s was. What? Why was he mad? Because there were too many guns on it, or? I don't know. But anyway, individual tracks with this track record. Because people need to feel butthurt about something, or else they can't feel anything.
Yeah.
Sounds about
But
it.
now, the real answer to that question is
Beer.
do a starter scenario. Do something that's doesn't have gets the basics of the game understood, where you you've got how you move or how you activate, how you move, how you shoot, how you recover from wounds. Get them into that type of feel of the game, and even later within that scenario itself, you can add other stuff if necessary. But that's going to be your best bet.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay. No big deal. You're dead to me.
And
I will say I had you on speaker on the way over here, and my family was very confused by our conversation. Oh man,
I thought this
you
was a
probably
live
should have
stream
pointed
about.
that out. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I just thought this was a live stream about gaming, not different types of pretzels.
We talk about all things on this show, man. We talk about all things. And Jessica should know this already. It's your mom and dad that were probably really confused. Anyway, but yeah, it just, introduce them to the game slowly. Don't overburden them with a lot of the extras. Get them comfortable with how to activate, how to move, how to shoot, that type of thing. If it's a game like Fistful of Lead where you can create your own characters, have characters already created for them, and either before the game starts or after the game starts, if they're interested, you can go about and explaining how you went about creating those characters. But understand that is yes, it's part of the game, but in this situation, you don't have to worry about it because I've already got that taken care of. And really, anytime you were building out an army or a gang or whatever it's called that you're moving around, just have it already created. That way, that's one less thing as a new player they have to worry about. Anything that you do in particular there, McMurray, when you're introducing like Fistful of Lead to the heathens of St. Louis?
To be honest with you, I try and make relatively simple scenarios with simple forces. I don't like not using rules that you would normally use. Like if you can design a scenario where a rule doesn't particularly come into play, that's fine. But I've also 100% played in like kind of quote intro games where they're like, well, we're just not going to do that today. Like, yeah, like let's play the rules as they come up.
Right.
My biggest way that I make sure that people are able to learn easily is to know the ever-loving piss out of the rules.
Absolutely.
So that I can answer people's questions straight off the bat and walk people through individually. Okay, here's how we get to this. Here's how I get to this. Here's how we get to this. Those are my two biggest things, to be honest with you, is to not simplify the rules necessarily, but simplify the diversity simplify the complication of the game by virtue of scenario and force design.
Right.
So
I'm not saying skip a particular rule if it comes up in play. Definitely play it,
no. Yeah.
But design it to where hopefully it, like grenades in Fistful of Lead. Not that it's hard to deal with, but let's get regular shooting down first.
Well, and for me, for my first game of Fistful of Lead with somebody, I leave traits completely out.
What'd you say?
I say, with my first game of Fistful of Lead for anybody, I leave traits out. Our second game, I'll throw traits in, but it adds too much to think about for a new player.
And the easiest thing that I've found is if you're going to add traits that aren't overly complicated, like traits that add things directly into the unit profile so that they're not having to remember it.
Right.
I mean, you guys have played in my Fistful of Lead games. There's not usually complicated traits. Where it gets complicated, especially with Fistful of Lead, where it gets complicated and people forget and lose stuff is once you start playing with traits and equipment and everything else.
Right.
And just XYZ. At some point in time, you're essentially playing an RPG with 5 little characters, not a skirmish game,
Right.
which is the exact opposite of what I want to do. But yeah, like once you get the crazy weapon stuff and you have traits and you have a crew trait and you have a leader trait and you have equipment slots, at some point in time, it's just kind of was like, all right, cool. I don't want to run 5 fucking Dungeons and Dragons characters. I want to play Fistful of Lead. So I tend to kind of just, again, not say, oh, we're ignoring what your equipment does. We're just not going to have equipment on the sheet. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
we're not going to say, but we're not actually going to do, I don't know, close combat. We'll just roll a die. No, like, do it. Just make it so that it's not obscenely complicated, right? Don't give somebody a sword that's got, yeah. Anyways, not a big thing, but I agree with you, Reese. I tend to make mine either very, very simple where everybody has the same shit, or not really have them in there for a start game.
Well,
Well, and for my convention games where I know people are going to be, familiar with Fistful of Lead, for instance, my J3 games, I tend to get a little more complicated with those because I know people have a basic understanding of the rules, have a couple games under their belt, and are there for the pro. So.
Right. Nord has a pop quiz for McMurray. Can a brigade be fired upon more than once per turn in Brigade Fire and Fury?
Oof. There are plenty of heathens in St. Louis. I have not played a lot of Brigade Fire and Fury Nord. On Sunday I did play Regimental, and that was wonderful. I know that in Regimental Fire and Fury, a regiment can be fired upon multiple times in a turn. I can't speak to Brigade, unfortunately. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I am not sure on that one, Nord. I apologize, buddy. Fire and Fury is one of those things that I am anticipating playing on Tuesday nights here coming up sometime soon, because that was quite wonderful to play on Sunday. It's been a while since I've been able to play a game of Fire and Fury rules as written, because it seems like everybody around here has been playing it since 1990 and they want to just house rule the piss out of it. But yeah.
Nord says the answer is no. A brigade can only be fired upon once per turn, but you can combine the fire points of multiple units shooting at the target into one roll. There you go.
Outstanding.
And Jeffy says everyone should be playing GBACW.
I saw that. Jeffy, like I said, once those GBACW for Ding Dongs rules come out with 3-Dog, I intend to give it a shot. I do. It might blow my mind and make my brains dribble out of my ear, but I'm going to try. Holy smoly. Look at that.
Isn't Chain of Command 2 coming out pretty soon, too?
It went out to consumers at Partisan, and it's shipping now.
Okay, so hopefully I'll get the bundle pretty soon.
Yep. Mutt's in the house. He says, what show is this? Hawaii? Hey, Chris, long time. I apologize for the disappearance. I'm back like diarrhea. Boom.
Hell yeah. Hot, smelly, and right in our pants.
Yep.
Good to see you, buddy.
Glad to see you, man. Greatly appreciated that you dropped in. All right. The next question. How do you handle scheduling and attendance for an ongoing campaign to keep momentum?
Shit. I don't know. I just play games, and then if people don't show up, they suck, and we make fun of them until they decide they should probably start showing up again.
There you go.
Yeah, if somebody figures that out, let me know, because I need that for mine, too.
I mean, ultimately, I don't know. I'm a dick. I don't know. The only way that we've ever been able to do that with, like, whether it's Chain of Command or when we played like a bolt action league, or when we did the summer or whatever for Blood and Plunder last year. It seems, I mean, it's kind of a dick move, but good natured ribbing and being real honest about, dude, this sucks when you don't fucking show up. Like, pick a night, do it. If people can make it, they can make it. If they have a conflict in schedule, then it's one of those like, all right, man, well, we'll catch you on the next one, man. You know what I mean? Like, most of the issues that we've run into is when you're trying to be flexible and find something that works for everybody, it never fucking will.
Exactly.
So at some point in time, you got to just kind of say, okay, well, here's the night we're doing it. Hopefully that works.
Make it great. If not, so sorry. Now, one thing,
and that's where doing the consistent night of the week has worked well for us, because then that actually that has started attracting outside people and bringing guys who were a little cagier to start coming back out.
Right.
Are starting to come back out because there is no challenge. There's no question. It's okay. Well, Tuesday night we're up here playing. Like I said, last summer it was Blood and Plunder. For years there, it was Flames of War. Then it was Bolt Action. We ran, not necessarily full-blown league games, but essentially league games. And it worked great. And you know what? Sometimes people were busy, and that's okay. It happens. You give them shit because they're not there. Honestly, most of the time when I wasn't able to make it, it was nice to know that, hey, these guys were actually thinking about me. It'd be cool if Andrew was here. But yeah.
Yep.
Volley and Bayonet. Is Volley and Bayonet AWI? Because wasn't Age of Eagles the Napoleonic variant?
That sounds about right.
Holler at me, Nord. That sounds pretty awesome. One other thing I'm thinking about doing is using my Fire and Fury based figures for, again, instead of just the 10 mil with Live Free or Die, because that should work pretty damn well. So then instead of, playing Live Free or Die where you've got 4 or 5 stands to a regiment, you've got, a number of stands, but they're on Fire and Fury basis because it's a little closer to how they intended it to originally be played. Value Bayonet. Oh, okay, there you go. Outstanding.
So one thing that I've seen done that seems to be pretty convenient, for lack of a better term, is that you do like a mini campaign. Like you have 3 games in a single day. Everybody gets together, start about 9:30, start up at 10. You have your first session, your first game, then you have your second game that's affected by the previous game, and then you've got the third game wrapping up the night that's been affected by game 2. You can even extend that to a couple more games on Sunday if you want to, and get like 5 games, 5 games of a campaign in all at once. That's one way of handling it. Then the only other thing to do, in my opinion, to keep people interested is have like a newsletter, like we discussed last time. Have a newsletter that talks about the different games that occurred. The other thing is you can, if you want to, leave it up to at the beginning of the week, or whatever time frame you're working with. You set up the game pairings, and then it's up to those 2 players to get together during that time frame and play their game to report the results. That way, nobody is waiting on anybody else. It's those and if those two players don't get together during that time frame, well, then their game doesn't count towards the campaign, and I don't want to say an arbitrary decision gets made if it, how it affects the overall campaign, like if it's a map campaign or if it's a ladder campaign. If it doesn't really affect what happened, then don't worry about it. If it is something that would affect, what's happening in the campaign, then roll a die, and whoever loses the die roll said, "Well, I guess you should have got together and played the game." That's sorry that you couldn't get it figured out on getting together over the last 7 days when when I just saw you up here, last night playing a game that's not part of the campaign, so you suck and you lost the die roll. Good natured grouping, like McMurray said. So those are just some of the different ways that I think you can go with getting campaigns to work out well.
Warmut, that sounds awesome. You should make your way through St. Louis. Also, yes, the challenge is still on for September. This year, Mini Warmut and I will be facing off in the incredible amount of shit talking he made last year when he decided he needed to buy the Warlord Epic ACW set and a bunch of stuff. So I bought the Bacchus 6mm Polemos starter set. And so we're going to do the Going the Distance challenge and see who can get more of their chosen ACW starter set painted. It's going to be me.
Mutt, are you going to be traveling through Kansas City? Because I don't think he's heard the news.
No, Nord, I'm not. That shit is so expensive. The starter set's like $300. At least the ACW one was dirt cheap.
Yeah, then they realized how badly they screwed up.
Like, that shit's expensive, especially now that, because the other thing was when they put the US starter set out for whatever reason for ACW Epic, they did. See, Brian, you keep saying it's the faster route, but when you type in Gilbert, Arizona to wherever you're going in Michigan, it quite literally brings you up 44. So cut your nonsense out.
It does.
But yeah, for whatever reason, when they put out ACW the first time, I don't know if that was right before they added over their little like 26% fuck you conversion tax, right? So on top of whatever the conversion rate is, they add 25%, round up to the nearest dollar.
Right.
So when, the dollar is 120 exchange for the pound, it's actually, $1.50 or $1.51.
Yeah.
Because Warlord Games is dicks. But yeah. Yeah, Nord, it's not only that, but every sculpt is the same, Nord. Right? And especially with the ACW, you have 20 bases, right? No, you have a lot more than 20 bases. You have 20 units, right? Which is 100 bases, but only 20 stands with flags in them. So it's frustrating. Also, if you play it how they intend to, with 5 of those bases per regiment, your regimental frontage in Epic is larger than your regimental frontage in basic Black Powder. So in terms of maneuver elements you can actually get onto the field in line, you're getting less. It seems counterproductive. It seems like there were 2 people in charge of different aspects of the game, and they did not talk at all. One person was in charge of rules, the other person was in charge of miniatures, and they didn't talk even a little bit. Good luck, Brian. Don't commit a felony. Yes, Nord. So when you get the Epic ACW, your units are 5 bases of 20 figures each, and only one of those 5 bases has a guy with a flag on it. The other ones are quite literally identical sculpts. Because each sprue has 1 unit on it. So you've got that 5 stands worth of guys, and I think a couple cavalry guys and a gun. And then the Confederates are cast in gray, and the Union are cast in blue. But that means that every one of your stands is identical, or every one of your units is identical. It was basically just impressive that they managed to cram, 20 plastic frames into a box for $60 or $70.
Yeah.
But yes, you still wind up with the whopping 10 stands that have essentially any sort of command. So unless you just have aimless regiments wandering around the field, it's not super helpful. So it happens, man. That frustrates me. The whole odd, weird scale is incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, 13.5 millimeters is not your friend.
Well, yeah, especially when they marketed the whole thing as, it's going to be 15 millimeter. It's going to be awesome. Which is just balls, because it's not. And again, there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of awesome 15 mil, 10 mil options out there.
6 mil.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even getting into 28.6 and 2 mil.
Right.
Just the two that it's trying to sit on the fence in between. And if you like painting individual figures, awesome. Run with the 15s. You can base them up like whatever. And if you like doing strips, awesome. Get 10 mil. They are dirt balls cheap. Dirty cheap. That's the awesome thing about the Old Glory 10 mil is they are dirt cheap. Walkabout, some of the Peter Pig fits. It's not 15 mil 20 years ago was still 15 millimeter, not 12 and a half. Some of it kind of fits because when you put their big fat strips on their bases, it's kind of close enough. But see all my Peter Pig is just slightly small compared to my Old Glory, and it looks overgrown when I put it next to the base that I got for free in War Games Illustrated. I do not have any minifigs.
Anybody know any metal ranges that go well with 172 scale plastics?
172 scale what?
Plastics.
I don't play goofy scales, and that is a legitimate goofy scale. That I think we actually discussed this.
I think metal 20 mils would work.
What?
I think metal 20 mils would work.
Again, I feel like we discussed this ad nauseum about how goofy this entire endeavor is.
When I move into the ranch house and I have very limited space, it's going to be very nice.
Then play in 15, because 15 mil, there's everything. You don't have to worry about, does anybody know somebody who makes?
And I might still branch into 15 millimeter Vietnam. We'll see. I've been enjoying the smaller scale stuff. So, next month is going to be crazy.
It will blow your tits clean off.
Yeah, that's too small. That's too small.
Why?
Just too small.
Why?
I like individual based figures, and 6 is too small.
Okay, yeah, then go with 15s. Also, you can totally base 6s. People do that for chain of command all the time, for travel chain of command, which is super fun.
Yeah, but then my terrain doesn't work. So I think
brother, you went from 54 mil to fucking 20 mil anyways. That doesn't work.
Jungle is still jungle. Rice patties are still rice patties.
That's the biggest goddamn rice I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I'm not calling bullshit on you, but the 20 millimeter guys are like 2.5 feet tall in comparison to your 54s. So either that is teeny tiny little wiener rice, or it with your 54s, or that is the biggest goddamn mutant Chernobyl rice patty that those guys in 20 millimeter have ever seen.
Well, we'll figure it out.
That rice comes from Fukushima Prefecture.
Yeah, exactly.
I did get a 132 scale, like 1960 era Land Rover, and a French 75 to go behind it. I have no idea where I'm going to use it, but
Hold on. When you say a French 75, you mean like the classic French 75, the model of 1897?
Yeah, the Schneider.
So you have wait, and that's getting towed behind a Land Rover?
Yeah, because why not?
What kind of wheels are on the 75?
I'm going to put hydraulic on it.
Okay.
I just needed my African mercenaries to have a little heavier artillery, and it seemed to work. So
I am so confused.
Oh, that's okay.
You needed your Afghan mercenaries to have heavy artillery.
African.
Oh, okay. Where in Africa?
Anywhere where short shorts and FALs are still available.
How the fuck did the French get there?
I don't know. Probably got it through one of the French colonies.
Yeah, except for those are all in North Africa.
Not all of them. Was it Mozambique? No, Mozambique is Portuguese.
It was Portuguese.
Oh, well. Well, don't ask him where they got the French 75.
Okay.
Probably traded an aircraft engine for it or something.
Okay.
Who knows?
And they don't have to go together. I just picked those up on the same day. So
I think that means they do have to be together.
I don't know. One arrived by mail and one got picked up in Dollar General, and I picked it up and I realized it was in 132 scale and it was a Land Rover.
Alrighty. Last question.
I would agree with Walkabout. You should definitely use a 25 pounder.
Yep. What advice
like
do you
this.
have? What's that?
Or like a Zis 2 or 3. Sorry,
Yeah,
keep
there
going,
you go.
Chris.
What advice do you have for keeping miniatures, terrain, and gaming accessories organized between sessions?
I don't. I'm fucking terrible at it. That's why it's all over my house. I'm sorry, Telemachus. I wish I could help you. I wish I could help myself.
So I was lucky when I worked at Simply Mac as the service manager. Simply Mac was an Apple authorized service provider, and when they were having their deal with replacing batteries for $50, they sent us boxes of batteries in these shipping boxes, which have egg crate foam. So I've got several of these boxes that I use for miniatures. So I'm lucky on that point. And then otherwise, I also use the Hatchbox PLA boxes are pretty nice. Now I don't have these. I don't have these magnetized or anything yet, but I am going to magnetize them and put in a steel sheet on the bottom there. So that's another way of doing it. And again, it's just all of the stuff that I need. Like this here are all the miniatures for my assault on Tantive 4. And then for my terrain, I use these types of boxes, whether it's this size or, you know, the big tubs, because again, you can see what's in them. It stacks nice, and although not watertight, it is definitely water resistant. So if you get a leak in your basement, your terrain is less likely to get ruined. So that's what I do. Of course, then there's the. I don't have any here. I mean, if you want to go crazy, you can spend money on Chessex boxes for miniatures. Another good thing to do is these trays here are jewelry boxes for retail. And what I did again was got the magnetic sheeting, put it on the bottom, and then the miniatures themselves are based on washers. So they stay in place. And then I've got a bag that they fit in, that I can get multiple things set in them, multiple boxes set in them, and they've got different heights. Like this one's like I think a 2-inch, an inch and a half, or 2-inch. I've got a big 4-inch one for some stuff. So I mean, there's lots of different ways. For my World War II miniatures, these photo boxes that you can pick up. Again, I put the steel on the bottom and then magnetized the base. So again, it's less likely to get jumbled up when you're moving them. And Michael's and Hobby Lobby will get the one that's got 14 of these boxes all in a single carry case. And Hobby Lobby doesn't anymore, but I think Michael still runs coupons every now and then of like 30% off, 40% off a single item. So it becomes real cheap to pick these up. So
hey, I'll be right back on, guys.
All right. So that's what I use for keeping my miniatures and whatnot. Not all scrummed up between sessions. So Reese does pretty much the same thing. His big 54 millimeter Way Saigon, whatever you want to call it, is in big monster tubs like this one here. His miniatures, his 54 millimeter miniatures are in tackle box trays. So that's that's your best way to go. Yes, Mutt. Reese is in Hawaii. No, he's not going to take anything off. There you go. There, he took his hat off. Jay's back with a comment saying, damn, I don't know what he is damning. Whether it is Nordic picked up a punched copy of Napoleon at Leipzig, OSG for $60, or that Bunkhouse has both the samurai and orcs. I like some anachronisms. Nord will wait for his seashell. Do you just need one, or do you need all three?
No, I haven't the entire time I've been here.
What?
I have not seen the seashell the entire time I've been here. I've been out in the water, I've been on the beach, and I have not seen a single shell. Lots of coral, lots of volcanic rock, but not a lot of shells.
Yeah, I don't think you're apt to see a lot of shells in Hawaii because the surf will pretty much grind them up.
Been some decent surfing waves, but
yeah,
can't complain about that. So.
Now, if you want good seashells, you need to go to the Bahamas and the Caribbean islands, or the Caribbean islands, however you want to pronounce it. Actually, I call them the Caribbean islands and the Caribbean Sea. Don't ask me why I make a differentiation. I do. I mean, you get some really nice whelk shells over in the Caribbean islands. Whelks and conchs are really get some really good ones over there. And those are your classic look, listen to the sea. Hear the sea when you put it to your ear. Now, what I like to do is, take a glass like this, put it up to my ear, and I hear the brewery. So that's what that's all about. So have you spent both of your days out at Pearl already, or just one, and you're going to go back for another?
We spent our pre-planned days. We got a little bit of free time tomorrow and Friday, and we may go back. We're not sure.
Yeah.
Depending on how things go. So.
When are you heading home?
Saturday night. So.
Sunday night? Saturday night.
Saturday
night. Okay. Give yourself some adjustment time on Sunday.
And then we all have Memorial Day off too. So
yeah,
we'll take Monday to sleeping off because it was pretty jet laggy getting here.
Yeah,
everybody was waking up at 5 a.m. and going, why aren't we doing this stuff? But we've figured it out. So.
Yeah. Well,
my phone's been ringing off the hook at work too, so that's been getting out of bed pretty early.
Because 5 in the morning over there is 11 o'clock here, 10 o'clock. Yeah. Yep.
Our plane ride over here was a little more than eventful.
Oh,
So, plane ride to Denver was fine, no complaints, great crew. And then at Denver, we boarded the plane on schedule, waited an hour, and then the intercom rang that the pilots still were not there.
the
And
pilots
then,
weren't there.
right.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
then, I guess they're coming on a different flight. And then the intercom rang that there was a maintenance issue with the plane, but it should be fixed shortly. But however, they were legally required to let us, disembark the plane, stretch our legs, do whatever. We stuck
Yeah.
it out for another hour and a half, and then we made the executive decision to get off the plane and stretch our legs. And then 5 minutes after we got off the plane, I guess they made the announcement for everybody to get off the plane. And they were going to be switching planes. And so we got switch planes, switch gates, got it all figured out. Pilots got on the right plane. Baggage got loaded on the right plane. Flight attendants made it to the right plane, I think. Not sure. Oh, well. Then they got us in the air, and of course, it's a rather lengthy flight. And we're just past the halfway point between California and Hawaii when the intercom rings and is there any medical professionals aboard? There's a medical emergency in such and such section of the plane.
No,
Of course,
lovely.
my head pops up because although I'm not a medical professional, I do have some training in that department and kind of keep my head down. RN, CNA, and stuff took care of business, and I'm overhearing the conversation because we're seated right next to the galley. They're like, well, if you put in the RV, not the RV, the IV, I don't know why. Did I just give a thumbs down? Okay, let's give a thumbs up.
Because your
But
hand is like this.
gotcha. Yeah, sorry, that's how I relax. But talking about putting in an IV and doing a bunch of other stuff, I was like, well, they've got it handled. But because of the medical emergency, the pilot got the permission to go at a higher altitude and a faster speed than normal. So we boogied. And we hit a lot of turbulence. And I will be happy if we have a flight that's a lot less eventful than that on the way back. So,
Who'd you fly?
United.
United. What type of equipment did you take from Denver to Honolulu?
Triple seven. Boeing
Oh,
triple
okay.
seven.
Big plane.
So that was nice. It's still a twin engine, but three on each side, four across in the middle.
Yeah.
So,
Well, keep in mind that twin engine, each engine nacelle is the same diameter as a 737. So,
yes, I got to walk right past those engines. That was pretty neat. Um, the in-flight meal was good. Nobody had the fish. Everybody had either the vegetarian option or the beef.
for those that know, they know.
Anyway, no autopilot was needed.
Yeah.
Any other
N-
jokes?
No, n- no nuns playing the guitar and knocking out the IV.
Oh, so none of that. It was, I've flown a lot. It wasn't terrible. Things happen.
Yeah.
But we spent longer in Denver sitting in the plane waiting to take off than we did on the airplane between Kansas City and Denver.
Oh wow. Well, that's not really that long of a flight. I mean, that's like
No, it's like maybe
what?
2 hours at
Yeah.
most,
Yeah.
depending on the wind.
It's not that far.
Got to fly out of the new KCI terminal. That was pretty cool.
I'm not.
A lot better.
I'm not joking, and don't call me Shirley.
Yeah. A hospital. What is it? It's a large building with patients. But that's beside the point.
But that's not important right now. Oh gosh. Anyway.
So it wasn't terrible. Got to see the Missouri. I'll have a full report on that later.
Yeah.
Got to go down to the crew quarters. Got to go up to the officers' officers country. I did not take the engineers tour. That was a little bit pricey, but I did get to see a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was neat. Sticking
So-
my hand into gun turret number 1, I believe. It was
So
hot.
the first photo I got from him on board was taken from about right there.
Yep.
So pretty cool. Okay. Warm-up's back. His the boyfriend is okay. I just need to make sure that he was leaving, and he's a pitcher from Michigan, as in the University of. So, I also saw that you were at the submarine museum there at Pearl with USS Bowfin.
Yes. We did not go in. We did not tour, but we did pass the submarine museum. The Bowfin's pretty cool, known as the Pearl Harbor Avenger, and sinker of, I believe, 44 Japanese ships.
Yeah.
So,
She was the Balu class, which was the class after the Gatto.
and I believe that she was launched on December 7th of 1942, if I remember correctly.
Let me take a look here. USS Bowfin. SS 287. She was laid down. Yeah, she was laid down 23 July 42, launched 7 December 42, commissioned May 1st 43. Decommissioned in 47, recommissioned in 51, decommissioned in 54, recommissioned in 60, and then decommissioned December 1st, 1971.
We also stopped at the Pearl Harbor Air Museum, which is in several historic hangars that still have bullet holes in them.
Cool.
Whether or not those bullet holes were friendly fire from anti-aircraft guns shooting at the F-4F Wildcats that were trying to land on the field or not, that is yet to be determined. But they have holes in them that occurred on December 7th, 1941. So that was sobering, to say the least. Saw a lot of interesting aircraft. Saw the wreckage of the Kamikaze, or at least part of the wreckage of the Kamikaze that hit the Missouri. Was it April 11th of 45, April 10th of 45, something like that. Saw the very small dent, and I mean very small dent, that was left by the attack. And heard the very chilling but very honorable story of the captain ordering that pilot to be buried at sea with full military honors off the deck of Missouri. That was fascinating.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm hoping to do at some point in time. Yes, I want to get on. I want to be able to get to all the other memorial ships that are out there, but I think getting to Missouri is. If I don't get to any others, I want to make sure I get to Missouri.
Now she is still in 1980s configuration. She has not been returned to 45.
Yeah, and she won't be. It was just too expensive.
Yes, and I asked about when they took those anti-aircraft guns off. He's like, "You're missing a lot of barrels." And they said, "Yeah, they left the 5 inches and the 40 mils until the 80s, and when they refitted her for her relaunch, they took off a bunch of the 5 inches. I think they took 6 of the 10 5-inch turrets off, maybe more.
Yeah.
And they took all the 40s off, and all the 20 mils. So.
Yeah, so there's no 40 gun tubs on there. because they were pretty in the 1980s. They were pretty much useless.
Well, they added four, maybe I think four Phalanx 20mm Vulcans,
Yeah,
and that's an impressive piece of equipment.
yeah.
So,
The Sea Whiz.
they did add 40mm grenade launchers and chain guns for operations off of Kuwait in the 90s. But
Yeah.
I believe most of those were removed. It felt like the 80s. I'll put it that way. The chain of command on the wall starting with HW.
Yeah.
The TVs and computers were straight out of the early 90s. As I sent Chris a couple pictures of the computer stations.
Yeah. Oh, traitorous dogs. So the door to the computer lab has the 6-color apple on it, big 6-color. But you look in there, and all the computers are compacts. Like, even for Windows computers, compacts aren't great.
And they probably ripped out the Apple ones and put those in there because they were cheaper.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
With the renovation or with the museum ship or whatnot.
Yeah.
It was funny. I stopped in one of the officers' quarters, and one of my favorite books, David Morrell's Last Reveille, was sitting on his shelf, and I was like, I don't know if they just put that in there for staging purposes, or if this officer was actually reading this book, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh. Now you said you actively decided not to make the trip out to Arizona.
Correct. We saw the Arizona from
you were able to see
the
it.
deck.
Yeah.
Of Missouri.
I'm sure that was a pretty chilling sight as well.
That's something, and they made the right decision when they brought Missouri there and docked her next to the Arizona. It's bookends. It's the beginning. It's the end.
Yeah, exactly.
And to walk the surrender deck was pretty cool. Got to see the paperwork and all of that.
Yeah. Now, don't they have a plaque or something there in the deck?
Yes. I'm not sure I got a photo of that, but I got a photo of the mural on the side of one of the gun turrets. And I saw where the Canadians signed in the wrong place and forced everybody to make amends. So, and given, I did learn a little bit more about that. It wasn't just because he was Canadian; it was because he had fought in World War I and was rather old and also couldn't see very well. So that probably all had something to do with it.
Well, he's probably also hopped up on maple syrup and Canadian Club.
Who knows?
Welcome back, Mr. McMurray.
What's up?
We're just cussing and discussing about Mighty Mo.
About what?
Mighty Mo, USS Missouri.
Oh, hell yeah!
And back bacon. There's probably his veins were probably clogged with back bacon.
I did get to see my first MiG-21 at the Air Museum.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't realize how small those things were.
Yeah, they are tiny. Compared to an F4, they are minuscule.
I saw an F100, Super Saber. I also got to see a Thud, got to see an F4, all kinds of stuff. F14, F15, you name it.
Yep.
Saw a Swamp Ghost, the B-17 they were restoring. That was pretty cool.
That's nice.
So,
now, did you go across to the other side to see where Utah was located?
we did not. We may later, depending on how everything falls. There's so much to see out there, and things had to be cut. So.
Decisions have to be made.
Yes.
One of the decisions you made I don't agree with, but that's all for you. But you had to go see the cows get laid.
Well, you're mixing the interest of four different individuals on a weekend trip.
Yeah.
If I got to see Mo and I could see the Edwards in, I'm okay.
Yep. So, actually, before you came on, I explained the reason why you weren't here yet is because you were in Hawaii and went to go see a cattle operation. And McMurray says, "Yeah, I like going. I like going and looking at shitty Section 8 housing on my vacation too."
Oh, my dad about wrecked the car when he said that. He's aware of what you do for a living, so he thought that was quite humorous.
I too enjoy work when I'm not at work. Perfect.
Well, Dad and I are a little bit different than the average Joe, and so be it. So.
Now, Nord's slinging out some hate words here, McMurray. He says New Jersey was a better ship.
It was a later ship, so like, all right.
What? No, New Jersey wasn't a later ship.
I mean, a later ship in terms of it was active later.
Oh, okay.
All right. They're both Iowas.
Yeah.
There are differences. They're not super duper huge differences. But I would like to point out that, yeah, of course it did. It got into the water earlier. But Missouri saw the Empire of Japan admit in front of the entire world that they were a bunch of baby back bitches right on her foredeck. So,
and then still stuck around to shoot Tomahawk missiles at Saddam Hussein.
Yeah. Correct. And that's a pretty big dunk on New Jersey there in the W category.
Yeah. She launched the first attack on Saddam, so suck it, Iraq. The main difference for me is I have been on New Jersey numerous times, so that factor make it the better ship for me. Oh, I totally get that. That's why, to me, USS Texas is the best. It's the one I've been on.
I may have convinced my dad to see if we can figure out a way to get everybody to go see Texas.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see. But me narrating the gun line at Saragosse Strait to my parents while we're sitting at Pearl Harbor was quite comical as well, because I was very animated and very passionate, and they're just kind of nodding along.
Well, so do they still have the mooring?
Yes.
Things out there it shows like where each ship was located. Okay, that's cool.
And so I'm various things and saying that this, and then these guys lined up and they come down the slot, and wouldn't you know it, it's the battleship row from Pearl Harbor, and we're above water.
Yep.
Anyway, it's been something.
Now, Warmut says, yeah, but the minnow carried some hot babes, I believe. That's a win for me. He does have a point.
Somebody tell Laura.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm hoping that I can arrange a trip to Hawaii for Donna and me at some point and be able to make the trip out to Pearl. Now, one thing I wanted to do that you aren't going to do, and that's a trip to the Big Island to see the volcanoes.
Right.
So, because I dig on the volcano business a lot more than, seeing Hawaiian cows. And not that that's a bad thing, it's just not my gig. I'm just saying.
Understood.
Now, does it make them? Are they Hawaiian cows because they look like Tom Selleck with the shirts on, or?
That's funny. No, they are descendants of the cattle that were the first cattle that were brought here and presented to the king.
And who brought those out? Was it Americans or
I think it's the British.
the British? What do the British know
so.
about cows?
Well, I
got
mean, they
the
did
curry-
come up with the Aberdeen Angus, and I've
I mean,
made
British
quite a bit
beef
of
is
money
pretty
tinning
legendary.
Angus.
Well, I mean, the British had a beef with Germany twice, so. Oh, that was funny.
Well, as I said, the British did come up with the Aberdeen Angus. And
Yeah,
I've made a lot of money with the Aberdeen Angus, so I can't say anything.
there you go. There you go. So, well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We've been going for 2 hours and 6 minutes. So, I got a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. So, I'm gonna
Nord,
let
it's
y'all
good to
go.
have you back, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you, Nord. Glad you're here. Mutt, definitely glad to have you back. And then
Hell yeah.
got Bunkhouse and Walkabout. Scala was on here earlier. Jeffy.
Yep. Telemachus. I think Todd is hanging out in the underside of the comments.
Yeah, he's probably lurking somewhere. And then definitely glad to see Charles. So, my brother Jay hanging around. Again, go check out that podcast, the Canadian Wargamer podcast. I did put a link in the comments here, so check it out. So, until again, I don't think I'll have a show next week because I got to be doing some packing. So hopefully
You and me both.
Yeah. The next time you see me should be June 4th from the Kansas City metro area. So until
Do it,
then,
Reese. I know you see those comments.
Probably not. Until then, we'll see you. On the
Welcome
flip
to the
side.
jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. Come on, dude.
No,
Come on, dude.
I mean, I swam in this shirt. It's staying on.
Baby, baby. Baby, baby. Like, we're just going to keep singing strip club songs until you take your shirt off.
See you
Just
guys.
for Brian.
Take care.